Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we're finishing our Matisse-inspired collages. We used paper, construction paper, glue, and scissors, and a pencil to work on our artwork today. Collage is that fancy French word for when you cut and glue, but we do need to write our names on the back of our paper if you haven't done so already, and your class code. Remember, you're only using your pencil today to write your name, as well as to draw any shapes that you might need help cutting out as a guide. But remember, we're mainly drawing with our scissors, so the idea is that nobody else is going to know that you drew with your pencil. We're making it look like you only drew with your scissors today, just like Matisse did in his artwork. So we started out by gluing the largest geometric shapes that you had. Geometric shapes are shapes you know, like rectangles and squares. I glued down my largest ones just to start out with. That's going to create something on my paper as a base. Then I'm going to build up and layer and overlap smaller organic shapes. Now, if your glue doesn't work, make sure you twist it up first. If it does work, please use it. If it doesn't, you have a second glue stick that you can use and throw away the one that's bad. Then I'm making sure that I get glue all over the backside and then turn it over and press it down, giving it a good massage so that it sticks. After I have my base of my geometric shapes, now I can start to draw some organic shapes. Organic shapes are those ones that are wiggly and squiggly and they don't really have a name for them. They're free-form shapes that you can invent yourself. Matisse did this a lot with these shapes that almost looked like leaves. He did this by drawing a stick, then drawing a bubble around it, and then cutting it out. When you're cutting, make sure that your cutting hand has your thumb up. Always thumb goes up. And then the rest of the fingers on the bottom, carefully turning your paper as you go with your non-cutting hand. The lazy hand has an important job today to turn your papers. Always making sure that you save your negative space, the one that's usually a scrap that you throw out, because it might look pretty cool to glue on your collage. I'm always putting the glue on the back side or the pencil side. Then I might want to glue down that scrap. So again, always putting the glue on the pencil side so nobody knows that I drew it with my pencil and it looks like I drew it with my scissors. The positive shape is what I cut out and the negative shape is the one that has the empty space that would normally be a scrap. I'm going to save both, especially when I make a spiral. I'm going to make a spiral, choosing another large piece of paper and grabbing my pencil. I'm going to start in the center and go round and round till I hit the outside. Then with my scissors, I'm going to carefully cut out my spiral. Now you'll notice if I just cut out on the spiral, it's going to look the exact same as my square or rectangle piece of paper if I just were to glue it down like this. It doesn't really look like a spiral because I need to take away some more. So now I'm putting my scissors right next to where I started and carefully cutting next to where I cut before, leaving just a little space in between where I started. And I'm going to keep going following my last cut line until I get all the way to the center of my spiral. Now I should have two pieces, one positive and one negative. Awesome, I have two spirals now that I can glue down. Gluing a spiral is a little tricky. I'm always making sure to put the glue on the back of what I drew instead of gluing on the black paper. That's going to make it less messy, even if it makes a mess on your desk. That's okay, we have art wipes and can wipe them up after. Make sure you always do a little wiggle test and see if you need to do some more glue. It's always better to have more glue than not enough glue. They will dry eventually and dry clear. I'm also going to put the glue on the back side or the negative space. I'm going to glue both down, do a wiggle test, and make sure that it's good to go. Try to overlap your shapes, but still leave a little bit of black space in the background. I'm going to create some overlapping shapes of different colors. So if I haven't used a bright color yet, like maybe the pink, I'm going to cut a zigzag out. Try to think about different lines or shapes that you have not tried yet, even if you think you're done. See if you can challenge yourself to create one more. If you haven't tried a zigzag, if you haven't tried a spiral, if you haven't tried that organic shape of leaf that Matisse usually did, try it. And if you don't like it, you don't have to glue it down. It's always an option. If you want to try cutting it and then you don't like it, well, it can go back in the scrap bin or you could throw it out. I'm going to try one more spiral because I really like how those have an effect on the overlapping. And remember, cutting it out first on the line and then putting your scissors next to the first line you cut out and very carefully cutting out a second line. Now this time it'll make two pieces again, that I can glue on my paper. The positive is going to be the spiral that I cut out, and the negative will be the square piece of paper that's left with negative spiral, meaning I subtracted it from that paper. A little bit of math in art. Making sure I put the glue on the back and glue it down. Thinking about where else I need something now that my paper's getting pretty full. When I think I'm done and I've completely done a wiggle test, made sure nothing fell off the paper, it's all good to go, and it's my absolute best work with nothing hanging off the sides of the paper, then I can sign my work and I can put it in the table folder or the middle bin. I always want to make sure to do a pet test, meaning that if I wiggle my paper and it doesn't fall off, that's great. But can I pet my paper and it doesn't fall off? That one did that time. I flipped it over and gave it a good massage just to make sure it really stuck this time. And then sign my name and put it in the middle basket. Always making sure that you clean up when you're done. Of course, I'm going to put some more finishing touches on. But if you are finished, you're going to use an art wipe to wipe down your area of any gluey spots and your hands. And then you can free draw in either your whiteboard with a whiteboard marker or in your sketchbook. Have fun, artists. I cannot wait to see what you create today.